Helena Jefferson. I'm chairman of the local Shropshire Wildlife Trust branch at Newport. One of the things that has really concerned me the most is the Station Road development, because you are taking green land. It may be not first-class farming land, but it is still green land, and you are going to put 87,000 square feet of concrete plus 800 parking spaces onto green fields which currently absorb water and save Newport from flooding. So please don't do it.
Yep. Right, that mic over there. Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. You'll get the mic next. Yep, okay.
If, hypothetically, Mr. Tringham were to restore the Section 106 numbers that were taken out by the inspector, would the council then withdraw their objection to that application?
Okay. Right. Let's get a few answers.
Well, taking that last point first, it's not my decision as to whether that could happen or not, but I think the position of the local planning authority is that there is a preference for the Station Road site, and I don't. Well, I'll continue to answer the question, and that has consistently been the case throughout discussions around Newport, which go back over several years. So the issue that you posed was a hypothetical one. If it happens, well, then the planning authority would have to look at that. Talking as a comment over here about me absolving myself, I'm not seeking to avoid responsibility for the work that I do for the council, and I believe that the recommendations that are being put forward to the council as planning authority are the right ones. The issue was also raised about prematurity. Those of you who look at the cases of development control in this country will know that the government has made clear that prematurity alone is not a sufficient reason to refuse applications. That is the context we have to work in. So just to say it's too soon is not a sufficient reason to say no. There has to be a planning reason why you could turn down an application, and I've said earlier that I don't believe there are planning reasons for turning down the applications that have been presented to the council so far. I'm not sure whether I've covered all the various issues in there. Was there a question missing that I haven't answered? Oh, on jobs. The report which was presented to Plans Board last week was very clear on the importance of jobs, and the report in updating matters on Station Road made it clear that there is, in our view, a need for Class B industrial space to provide jobs in the Newport area. That's very clear in the core strategy, and it's something that the council is arguing would be supported if the Secretary of State was to select Station Road as the supermarket site and not Audley Avenue. I won't go over the argument in detail, but if anybody wishes to read that, then you can consult the Council's website and look at the Plans Board papers that went to members on the 29th of November last week.
I've got, before I pick up off the floor, 1 second please. I've been asked to ask, Mr. Tringham apparently has written to the Council offering to reinstate the necessary 106. Can you confirm that that is the case and he has done so? And another question is, in terms of where Telford and Wrekin have built new houses and the numbers that you're saying, do you include Newport when you're saying about the success of Telford and Wrekin, or are you excluding Newport?
I was talking about the borough as a whole, and the majority of the new housing is clearly going in the Telford area, but I'm referring to housing numbers in the borough as a whole. As far as I'm aware, the planning authorities received no such communication from the owners of the site at Audley Avenue.
Okay. But presumably you would not disagree that Telford being larger, it should be building more houses than Newport would be building, and if it's proportional within Newport, then that would be a reasonable approach.
It's very clear in the Council's development plan, the core strategy, that the emphasis is on new housing in the Telford area, and that is what the Council is doing, and that's what the evidence of completions would indicate, and that's what the evidence of granted planning consents would also indicate.
In that case, I've been asked also to put that in front of you, which actually shows you that proportionally Newport has provided almost exactly the same number of new builds during the period in question. You can pass those around. There's only a few copies of them, I'm afraid. But basically that shows you that by per head of population, actually Newport has built more new houses, and by hectare, it's basically very, very similar. So would you agree with the conclusion on that piece of paper that Newport has contributed its fair, proportionate share of new houses over the period in question? They are, by the way, your figures from Matt Wedderburn.
I don't conclude what you just said. What I conclude from that is that the housing market in Newport is a successful one. It's a place where developers feel there is demand for houses, and they feel that the provision of new houses will be successful in the area. If you have the figures are there. I wouldn't argue with them. I draw no further conclusion from them than the figures that you have.
So, sorry, I have to challenge that, because one of the questions that has been put back to you on a number of occasions is where you've said that Newport has not been pulling its weight regarding the provision of new houses. These figures are demonstrating that they do. I believe Mark wanted... No, sorry, I'm not saying you have. I'm saying Telford and Wrekin have, because that was what was in the, I believe, Shaping Places document. Can we just pick up a question at the back there before I pass over to Mark for a second? And we are running into close-up now, please.
I'd just like to come back on that last comment from Mr. Barker. I'm a resident of Newport. I'm a parent. My kids go to Burton Borough School, and I happen to be a friend of one of the Board of Governors for the school. And we've had some real disturbing information given to us about how the school's going to manage if we increase the town. Now, we're very proud of what the school does and what it picks up from the area, and how difficult it is when they get to a certain age. The kids are going off. My daughter goes now to Shrewsbury to go to sixth form college, and I pay for the bus trip because Telford and Wrekin won't pay for them to go there, even though they don't do the courses she wants to do. We have a real problem in school places, and the real reason that Newport is so popular for people to get here is because they want their kids in the schools that are in the borough. And that is a priority here, and that's what we've given. Even though we don't have the big flashy schools that I often see as I'm travelling through Telford, and we don't have the money spent on the borough that I see spent on a lot of the schools in the Telford area, and we don't have the hard surface playing areas that they have in the Telford area, I do see that we produce some of the best musical and academic kids that we've got in the country. And surely we've got to look at sustaining that sort of thing and not drowning it with lots and lots of people where the infrastructure can't cope with it. Thank you.
Right. Okay, we need to go into sum up now, because it is heading towards 8:30. Can I just ask, has anyone got any new points, not reiterating old points, please? We'll take 1, 2, 3, and then we'll draw it to a close, I'm afraid.
Thank you. Alan Golding. I've got a question on road safety. My house is in a road that leads directly onto Station Road near the Springfield stores. And it's a very dangerous road right now. There are several hazards along that road, including the Cottage Hospital and Granville Road Junction, which is a crossing for school children, And also, we used to have a recycling centre which has disappeared. My question is, the Plans Board latest report on the Station Road supermarket and development included plans to vamp up the bypass with roundabouts and God knows what, but they don't seem to have covered any road safety at all within Station Road itself, and I would like to know what they're going to do about that.
Okay.
My points are this. The 400 jobs that are claimed may well be displacement jobs from businesses already in the town which will then close. And the associated point with that, as everybody I think in the room will know, there's a big issue about the minimum wage paid by the large supermarkets, Tesco's, all the rest of it, and the impact that has on working tax credit. So the idea that these jobs are actually beneficial jobs is a bit of a misnomer and very misleading. And my third point is Ledbury in Herefordshire has seen off the Tesco application there on the grounds of it would make the high street unviable. And as far as I know, Tesco are not appealing, but you may have more up-to-date information, Michael, on that. And if the Secretary of State felt that the decision that the Council made on Station Road was in any way justifiable, why would it have been called in?
Okay, and final question from here, or comment?
One important question I think we haven't asked, whether it's 20 houses or 15, are they 2-storey or 3? Because I've seen a lot of 3 stories.
Okay, right. Are you able to answer very succinctly any of those questions without reiterating previous points, please?
With regard to the housing types, the application, the 2 larger applications are outline applications, so the detail of the housing types is not yet known. I would anticipate that there will be a mixture of different types of houses, obviously different tenures, some for sale, 35% affordable houses, so including houses for rent and shared equity, and the houses in terms of design will be again a range of different sizes. So there's not much more I can say about that because all matters are reserved on outline applications. With regard to the supermarket issue again, I'm not aware of the Ledbury example, and so I can't comment on that. What I am aware of is what the planning inspector said in relation to the Newport example, accepting that there would not be a detrimental impact on the high street and accepting that a supermarket serving the Newport area was justified. We may, of course, differ about which site it should be on, but the principle of a supermarket was very clear. That decision was made by a planning inspector and accepted by the Secretary of State. What the Secretary of State may decide in relation to Station Road, we'll have to wait and see. Road safety. If you